there everyone, and I thank you so much for tuning in to my garden paradise, where right now I am in my front porch area, showcasing to you some of the plants that I have here. Also, we'll be taking you to my backyard, where I will be showing you my garden paradise in the backyard, really focusing on my orchidea plants. Now, about 2 years ago, I did showcase a plant called the Radicand Orchid, and I showed you in a video how to propagate and take the clippings and also the baby kikis and start off new plants. Now, I didn't get a chance to show you an update, which I was meaning to, but forgive me because I didn't. But today I will be giving you an update, and I will be showing you just how magnificently well they are doing. As a matter of fact, they are doing so well that they are actually taking over my garden in the backyard, which is not a bad thing because, again, I am an orchid lover, so the more the merrier, and the merrier the better. Now, today I want to show you 2 orchid plants that I got recently from a garage sale. Here's one of them, and also my other one is this one. And you guys have to understand, we are in January right now, so we're kind of, you know, recovering from the winter season, if you want to call it that. But we do have a little bit of cold season, so the plants are a little bit in dormant, so forgive me here. But definitely, again, wanted to showcase this plant right here, which is a part of the Orchidea family. Welcome home. I'm very proud of this plant. I got her and really didn't know what it was, and kind of still don't know what it is. The lady that sold it to me could only tell me that she had got it from one of those orchid shows, and that they were very, very expensive, and she had received, I guess, a tiny, tiny bulb for about $9. And they bloom profusely, but that's all she could tell me. And what really intrigued me about this plant right here is I noticed that on each pseudobulb, they had this spike that shows to me that it had already been in bloom. And almost each pseudobulb has this old spike. So that tells me that this is indeed a heavy bloomer, giving off lots and lots of flowers. So definitely that is what excited me. Now, the greatest surprise is that about 3 months ago I purchased this, and now if you look closely, you will see flower spikes actually already coming out. Let's see if I can get this to focus. Also, here's another one. So this is the second one. Then if you look right here, this is the third one. And if you look over here, hidden is the fourth one. Now, I did my research, and I looked and Googled and YouTubed and tried to find out exactly what this was. And the closest thing that I could come across is something that is called the Cymbidium Orchid, which is a very, very tropical orchids, and they have flowers that range from your pinks to purples to your browns to your maroons. So definitely excited to see what kind of blossoms that I get from this, and I definitely will keep you guys in tune as well. And what I also loved about this is the shape of their pseudobulbs. As you can see, they're very, very round, kind of an oval egg shape, very shiny. It kind of beckons you to touch and feel it, which they're very glossy and smooth. I actually kept this a little bit in the sun when I first got it. Bad idea. It received some direct sunlight, so as you can see, it was a little bit injured, but it's in recovery mode and it's doing quite well. Of course, it's giving me its blossoms, so it's liking the place that it's in right now. So I definitely will give you an update when it starts blooming, so definitely stay tuned. Also, the other orchid plant that I received is this one right here. And what this is the beautiful, beautiful cat Leia. And what I love most about this is just the ruffled velvet petal that it has. And if you look closely, you'll see the orange, yellowish center. Just so gorgeous, such a deep color, and I'm not quite sure if the camera can actually capture the beauty of its color, but definitely a gorgeous specimen. And And what she did with this one, which I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and take this apart, because she put a variety of different orchids in here. This is, of course, again, the Cattleya, but then she has some dendrobiums in here, which bloom pink, because I did have some blossoms off of this too as well. The dendrobium and also the Can Orchid in here. And if you take a close look back here, it has the Vanda Orchid in here as well. So again, just quite a variety of different orchids in here. And from what I hear, it's not really a great idea to put all sorts of orchids in one pot. The reason being is they can become quite competitive plants, and whichever one is the dominant one is going to become stronger, and of course the weaker ones are going to get weaker. So again, I might go ahead and take this apart and allow them to you know, claim their own space in their own home. But definitely am happy with this purchase because of this quite lovely blossom right here. Also, I have this other Cattleya. Doesn't give me that much blooms either, and I'm guessing again this is more or less of a shady area. My Vanda Orchid, very, very huge. This is a Mama Vanda. I actually had a baby from her and I took it off of that. But my Vanda Orchid that blooms in a beautiful magenta color. Also, I have my Radicand Orchids here also, a multitude of different kinds or varieties here at my front porch area as well. And if you take a close look, this is a spike from my Phalaenopsis Orchid. Now, as you can see, we did get some cold temperature, and it didn't like it so well. So, it's kind of not doing so good, or at least this leaf is really in bad shape, but that'll just fall off and it'll be just fine. And I don't know if I can take a close look here. Not sure if you can see it. It's a little bit dark. Let's see, right there. Okay, you can kind of see it. Right here, folks, is actually about to give me another spike right here. So this is actually going to give me 2 spikes of blossoms, and she blooms in a magenta color, a very dark magenta, very beautiful. She is indeed a showstopper and a crowd pleaser. This is actually my Cymbidium Orchid. Have not gotten a spike yet with its flowers, but very excited that one day it will give me a blossom. This is actually a plant that likes to bloom in the colder weather, so about in the 50 degrees. Once it starts hitting that temperature, it'll give out its spikes with the flowers, and of course it gives you a multitude of beautiful, beautiful flowers. And you will commonly see those flowers in like corsages for proms and events and things of that nature. So definitely a beautiful, beautiful plant. Alright folks, I'm gonna go ahead and take you to the backyard, so come on down. Okay folks, and here we are going into my backyard, my little garden area back here. And again, as I stated earlier, this is the winter season, what Florida gets anyways. And so my plants are in recovery mode, although it is still blossoming. Lots and lots of flowers here. Okay, so the plants that I want to showcase here really are the plants that I showed you about like 2 years ago, which was my Radicand Orchids. And this is actually the one that I showed you in a bird cage. And it was a lot smaller back then. And as you can see, the plant is actually just really extending itself out. And these extensions right here are actually the spikes. Let me try to see if I can get it in focused here. But these are actually the spikes, and they are about to blossom. So although it's winter, they don't know it's winter, and they want to blossom here. And if you look here, this is actually that cone shape that I had in the front yard before. As you can see, it is doing very, very well. Again, Radicand Orchid, this is the orange variety, and now they are just really intermingled within this tree, which they are really, really loving. Okay, now what you are looking at here is just a huge mass of Radicand Orchids that are really just taking over my garden area. Okay, there's about maybe 3 or 4 pots And these are the pots that I showed in my other video, where again I propagated all of the kikis and stem clippings and things of that nature within a pot. You can't even really see the pots anymore because they've just really taken over this area right here. If you take a look, you see all of these spikes coming out. That is actually going to be their cluster of blossoms, and as you can see, here's an orange one that's already blooming, if I can get it in focus. The beautiful cluster of what appears to be miniature Cattleya orchids. Of course, again, this is known as the Crucifix Orchids. Crucifix? Sorry about that, folks. Where you can actually see a cross shape standing up, and there's an ant on me. Ah! Okay, I'm fine. Sorry about that, folks. Anyways, and this is again a purple variety. And let's see if we can get a close look on the crucifix itself, because this really really shows very well. There's the crucifix, there's the cross shape. Just a beautiful, magnificent cluster. And again, all of its spikes coming up. It's wintertime. It doesn't know that. But as you can see here, folks, oh my gosh, it just started trailing down. This used to be a pathway. I used to be able to just cross over, which I cannot any longer. I have to step, sorry about that. Ah! But again, as you can see, they've just really taken over. Now I wanted to show you, because I didn't show you yet, these type of orchids that I have also. It's called the Miss Whim orchid, which is the Thailand flower, or the orchid plant for Thailand. And if you take a close look, you can see that they actually have a very weird shape, not what you would commonly note as an orchid leaf. Kind of looks a little bit piney, and they bloom kind of what resembles a dancing lady. Big blossoms, usually in pinks, purples, and whites. I have not gotten a blossom yet, but I'm expecting to receive, hopefully, fingers crossed, some blossoms off of this. But as you can see, they're just really intermingled in all of my Radicand orchids. But that is the Miss Whim orchid, so definitely very excited to see the blossoms, and as soon as they bloom, I will update you wonderful folks out there on their glorious blossom. And this is another variety of orchid that I have. I'm actually not quite sure of what the name is for this, although this is quite commonly found in Japan, or originates from Japan. And I'm hoping what this is, because it's never given me a blossom yet, but I'm hoping what these are coming out here. They either could be baby plants, kikis, or they can be the blossoms. And I'm hoping they're the blossoms, because the blossoms also come from the actual cane itself. So again, whenever they start blooming, I'm just going to give you an update of all my beautiful, beautiful blossoms. So definitely stay tuned. Again, this is my garden paradise in my backyard. It is not fully in recovery mode, but as soon as it becomes where it's just really giving out all of its gorgeous, magnificent blossoms, I'll do an update on all of my wonderful, beautiful plants out here, because although I love, love, love the orchid family, I also love all of my many variations of plants as well. So definitely stay tuned for more, and I thank you so much for tuning in to my garden paradise. And if you like this video, please make sure to like, and definitely give me your suggestions. And if you have any questions, I definitely will answer those as well. I thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Maria Young in her garden paradise. You guys be safe and always wonderful, folks.